All right. The textbooks that I am continuing, writing, revising, posted. While you are reading, if you have any questions, if you find any errors, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I want to, if you give me good comments, then constructive comments, suggestion, you will have extra points. Mainly because this is a Python book. The chapters that I currently structuring here, Python basic, and then some languages, conditional statements, and repeated statements. And after that, a little bit of those. But I didn't put here much about object orientation, but I may do so having another chapter, object orientation, for those who like, right? It is really good. Object orientation has been fully utilized for the last 30 years. It was the first, the concept was invented from MIT. I still remember in early 1985, around that time when I was a student, we had the meeting, kick-off meeting about object orientation. And at that time, all the faculty members also confused. What is object orientation? So we talked a lot, and probably I am one of the first implementer of object-oriented, list-based object-oriented database. I mentioned that a couple of times when I was a student. At that time, I liked the Lisp programming language, LISP. There's artificial intelligence language. There's a Lisp manipulation language. Now, Prolog, no, I'm sorry, not Prolog. Python is kind of a language with strong capabilities of handling list. So Python has the strength of Lisp language plus a lot more than that. So Python is good. So I may add one more chapter. I mean, materials are all available, right? And after that, data manipulation, how we can acquire data. Python is a good language that can access various different resources, not only from your local file, not only a text file. It can access and open your, for example, Excel files, or image files, or sound files from your local device. And also you can access the remote servers. You can access web servers, web pages. You can access dynamically producing streaming data. For example, stock data, financial data, airplane data, some scheduling data. So there's no limit at all. So acquiring data and handling numbers, that is also very good. Handling strings, that's item 3.3. That is the best in Python than any other languages. And after that, accessing external sources. I play with that all. And graphical user interface. I'm not going to cover all. For you, I'm going to cover chapter 1 and 2. and then chapter 5, graphical user interface. And advanced programming, I may do a little bit of a recursive, when it comes to some necessity. An application, financial application, healthcare application, and cyber security application. For cyber security application, we'll do a little bit of cryptography and so on and so forth. Okay, this is the chapter 1, introductory. The versions of Python, if I say here, it is not really, may not be really current version, because I didn't update. See here, 2015, somehow. I did it at that time. Python can be used in user interactive mode, and also we can use it in others. Like you can edit files and execute from your command terminal, or you can do edit and execution together on your IDE. IDE that we are going to use is Paizo. Okay, so Paizo is a good IDE. That's what we are going to do today. In the text, if you have this shape, this is command line terminal. This is the editor. So we'll do a little bit of those. This is chapter 1. And chapter 2, chapter 5, graphical user interface. We'll do a little bit of this also today. So not only dialogue-based programming, how can you make your program looking good to users so the user simply click a mouse. Okay. So when you do graphical user interface, basically there are two Windows tools available. Basically two. One canvas, one frame. So you can create canvas if you want to put there a lot of graphics, icons, animations. Then canvas is a proper window that you need to create. On the other hand, if you want to do some of the menu-driven and almost all other than artistic work, but the application program that handles data or accessing external resources, then frame is always better than canvas. All right? What is your name, gentleman? Huh?
Christian.
Oh, you're Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian. All right. So let's do step by step. By the way, everyone has the programming environment set on your laptop, right? Anno, is it okay with you Notepad?
Yeah.
Is it Python? Oh, great. Yeah. Python is not going to use this for when you do programming. What is it? Microsoft Notepad, right? Huh? I don't know. It is not full computing. In power, power. It doesn't have computing power. but somewhere between iPad and computer. So Python is a good language, but because NO is working on his iPad. It's not a problem. But I think only some limited capabilities, right? So we'll see if it has some issues. Yeah, we do. When it comes to networking, then we will create multiple the systems. So one server and maybe 100 million clients to emulate denial of service. So what's that? Okay, if you do not have any problem computer programming, then we are ready to go. Graphical user interface. Without knowing anything at all, graphical user interface. Sounds great, right? I'm trying to challenge you. Hey, let's start a graphical user interface. I didn't have any yet proven record of teaching graphical user interface more effective than teaching language itself, but I'm now testing. Okay. So I wanted to have something fancy first. Anyway, for any development, if you do it, then final product should be on graphical user interface. Otherwise, no one use it, right? In addition to that, smartphone apps developments, it is all graphical user interface basis, right? There's no. Have you seen any smartphone apps with no graphical user interface? No way, right? Of course, the smartphone is a touch screen. There is no mouse, no nothing, only a touch screen, which means it should be graphical user interface, right? When you touch, see, NO is working on virtual keyboard. How virtual keyboard works? Because it's already programmed, right? Virtual keyboard is nothing but programming. So when you touch certain button, which is on graphical user interface, so that button is taken into your database as if your hard keyboard is touched. It's the same idea, right? Anybody? It's not yet on the market, right? iPhone 10. I cannot wait. Well, I cannot purchase it, but I want to see my students using iPhone 10. Maybe in November. The first edition comes in November.
The numbers are, well, depends. It depends. Yeah, around November.
Around November.
Yeah, November.
Which feature do you like the most from the announcement?
I didn't really care for iPhone X.
The one I like is it photo ID? Photo.
Yeah,
It's face ID. Thank you. Face ID. Face ID is the technique that. What is the background technique for Face ID? None of you know that yet. My another course, mobile technology and wireless sensor network. The sensor part, there we look at the camera. One of the camera type is infrared camera. What is infrared wave? Infrared wave is the frequency little lower than red color. Red color is light wave, which means we can see it. That's visible. The lowest frequency that we can see is color red. The low frequency than that is infrared, which is invisible. So infrared camera is widely used, particularly in military, right? So dark at night. If you want to kill your enemy, you know there is enemy. You cannot see it. But if you see it, if you watch it through infrared lens, then you can see it all, right? So what iPhone has infrared lens installed. That infrared lens enhanced the two features of iPhone 10. What was it? It's not photo ID. What is it? Face ID. Okay, one Face ID. The other one is animation icon. Called any. Right, animation and icon. It is called Animoji. Yeah, Animoji. Okay, Animoji. Animoji detect muscle movement from our face. That photo camera designed for photo taking. It's exactly similar to our eye identification, right? Eye can identify. But infrared is something that our eyes cannot. It's a little more than that. So infrared camera does two things. Face ID and those. Face ID takes how Face ID identifies you. When you open it, then Face ID identifies you, right? This is a simple program. Through the infrared, it takes 300 dots from your face. By having 300 dots, it can identify 50 million different faces. Another Animoji? Animoji. Animoji is similar to that. Our muscle movement identified by the infrared camera, and then that small icons follows the way that you do, right? So everything comes from infrared camera. A lot more than will come. Okay. My friend is the CEO, successfully produced high sensitive laser-based technologies. Asian. So laser is another laser is a wave, right? Laser wave. Anybody has a laser, light, whatever?
Well, I know like Rocky Martin developed the new laser, like a defense laser, to take out planes and stuff.
Laser waves intensively used by satellite technologies when they look at hurricane damages. Okay, it's more like it's not laser itself, but it's like a lidar. Okay, but anyway, that type of technology will carry laser signals can carry a lot more and stronger data, your cell data, okay, to satellites. From what iPhone? Smartphone. Currently, technology of a smartphone is what? 4G, right? So when it comes to 6G, your cell signal will journey over laser wave. So it's a satellite-based smartphone. It's not any. Well, they use both cell signal and the satellite signal. Satellites is far from us, right? How far is it? Satellites. Usually 100 kilometers away from us. 100 kilometers, you can simply say 100 kilo miles. 100 kilo miles, then how far is it from here? Maybe the other side of the globe, Earth. Where is the other? Opposite side? Huh?
North and south.
I'm from New York.
Oh,
What is the globe here? New York here, then the other side.
right.
Oh, it's longer than that, right? One circle is only 15,000 kilometers. So 10 times. 10 times. There's satellites orbiting certain distance from Earth. So your cell phone is communicating to satellites. Okay. Question or comments?
Question.
Is it a smart question or?
Yes, it is.
Oh, great.
I heard NASA there is pointing laser beam at sun.
Oh, yeah. All the communication, not only sun, communication with airspace, aircrafts, or airspace crafts. It's by laser. There's no others that can carry the signals. What is a laser? Laser stands for? If you see the full name of laser, then you can see, oh, that is the reason. L for light, A for amplification. Light amplification by SER. Stimulated emission of radiation. So anything radiates can be, emission is stimulated, therefore is a light speed but amplified. A lot faster than light speed. Well, not really a lot faster, but it's closer to light speed. That's a communication carrier over the space. The carrier that we are currently using is a very, very low energy and very slow. I would say very slow if we think of that high speed and high powered laser. Laser is not only that fully maximized strengthening carrier, but a small and very low energy laser signals are possible, right? See, laser, what is that laser? Laser jet printer. How about that? See, laser jet printer. It's widely used. Is there any other printer except a 3D printer? Any other printer better than laser printer right now? Right? That 3D printer has also laser technology. very, very accurate. If you want to cut very thick metal, then without laser, the hardest material is what, diamond? Diamond should be used to cut thick metal. Oh, diamond, that is expensive, right? So laser can do a lot better and faster. Okay. Medical uses a lot of laser treatment, right? Okay, anyway. So, what do you do? Okay, graphical user interface. Graphical user interface, you have to, I thought this is important. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Shouldn't be I thought this is language. Okay. Import a module. How can you import? The language is this. From tkinter, tk, interface, everything from this package tkinter, I want to import. Then you can say import asterisk. I want to import everything available in this tkinter packages. What is tk inter? tk is a graphical concept implemented half century ago, 60s, 70s. TK, TICK, a lot of those graphical primitive components are already developed very many years ago, before we were born. Okay? So because of TK technologies, current graphical user interface was enabled. So there's a primitive packages that you can make your program over graphical user interface. Of course, Python can include a lot more efficient, easy to use, not say fasting, I'm not sure it's really fast, but efficient to use, easy to use packages available. A lot of pre-cooked packages, I want you to use it, but we are not going to use it in this class. I'm going to use it more primitive levels. Without knowing primitive levels of work, your work or your skills relies on commercial products. You should understand something, the fundamental foundation. Therefore, whatever commercials that relies on that same foundation, then you will have the same. You will always catch up quick. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. A lot of the language that we are using, some other universities do not allow you to use, for example, some command, some languages. There is a Python language itself, but they ask you to implement that Python language. Small things, like a len, L-E-N. We use a lot of L-E-N. Length. That tells us the length of, for example, the size of data in list formats. Easy to use, right? But at the same time, you can implement it. There's a very small thing that you can use your idea to implement. Maybe your implementation works better than the Python language, the L-E-N open and close parentheses. Something like that. So for graphical user interface, we have to import everything from tkinter. But later, after the completion of this class, if you want to include other than tkinter, that's fine. Some others you can build very quickly, and it displays much nicer than this. But everything's implemented based on this. That is another in the middle layer that you use. Okay, so tkinter has tk. Okay, Python is case sensitive. Python is basically like Java and C. Oh yeah, all kinds of language are case sensitive. Yeah, not only Python. So when you do TK, then it should be uppercase T. If you have a Python 2.7, then opposite. 2.7 has uppercase T for tkinter and lowercase t for tk. But this is a 3.x. If you have this class tkinter, there is a functions available, like method in object orientation. Then this tk, open parenthesis and close parenthesis means, for those who already know Java programming language, then that is the constructor, object constructor. So uppercase tk, open and close parenthesis. Therefore, your computer is ready to receive an object. Okay, already class is created and provided to you. Only what you need is create an object and use it. That's the concept. Okay? Classes are given to you. Simply use it. But Python, the way of using class objects is much simpler than Java or C. Without knowing that, you simply call it, which means internally that is object constructor. So this is a kind of object constructor. Once you construct an object, then you can attach function to execute. So there's a dot notation. So tk dot title, then create title. Main loop is another function that you always use. But if you run it on Paizo, if you run Python program on Paizo, then Paizo editor and execution environment already has that main loop, so you don't need to. But command line Python programming, you definitely need this, okay, and all others. And then what is a canvas? What is frame? That we need to know. How a lot of languages, right? So Python is another language. Like when you learn, if you are native English speaker but want to learn, for example, what language? Korean? Then you have a lot of hard time, right? Anybody here can speak Korean better than me? No, right? Anybody speak Italian? But Italian or Greek speakers can speak many other languages, because that is the root of, for example, English and Spanish, right? Or Portuguese. Somebody else speaks Portuguese? Not in this class? Maybe some other class. Oh, Peter. Peter's not. So, same thing. If you want to do a graphical user interface, if you know this tkinter here, then it is just like a Greek language, or rather than Italian language, what is the olden language called? Latin, yeah, Latin language. Thank you. So how can we understand, for example, TK and canvas here and frames? There are many ways, but the best way that you can do is from, let me see if I have, I do not have anything here. Let me close this to open up web browser. So what I'm going to do is to bring here. I'm going to close this, minimize, and open up this. Okay, so maybe docs, Python, what did it say? Python, Taro, maybe. Okay, here. So you can change, where's my mouse? You can change the version of your Python all the way up to 3.7 from 2.7. All the version below 2.7 obsolete, not anymore. The reason we still have 2.7 is a lot of good packages written in 2.7, but will go eventually. But not yet. So this is a current version. Probably you have this. And then there's some tutorials, library reference. Let's see. Library reference. Is there tkinter? Okay, here, tkinter. Graphical user interface with the TK, uppercase T and small k, which is from tkinter. If you click this, then there are a lot of, let's say here, canvas. Yeah, let's try to TK first. This is TK, right? In TK, tkinter modules, tkinter live. This is not language, but uppercase T. This is just a letter for you to understand. Some menus. canvas and frame. So not here. Canvas is somewhere. So that's Tkinter. Let's try to do here. Either. Frame. Frame. Another way that you can find this is simply Google it. Another way is say Python canvas method API. API is better. Okay? If you say Python canvas API, so you look any of this, what things about canvas community. Which one is good? Not sure if this is good. Somebody's posting. Okay. Oh. Oh, this is something different. Python canvas. Let's see. Maybe you can use tutorial point to, yeah, oh, this is good. So canvas, this is like a class. Canvas is already defined and provided to you. What you need to do is create an object using this constructor. It's a canvas, open and close parentheses, which takes multiple arguments. So it can return to you an object of a canvas. So object of a canvas is a canvas of your programming. So you take it and into and you label it called W. So this is your variable. So you can say, oh, this is my canvas. Then you can simply say my canvas 1 equals uppercase canvas, and there are many ways that you can describe. Okay, you can set background, you can use the border lines, cursor, height and width is important, right? That way canvas can be drawn on your terminal. And scroll region, X scroll, Y scroll, so those are the things. So a lot of examples also available, right? The code here, see here, canvas. Canvas is drawn on top of master windows. Master. Okay. After that, some options. So this coordinator tells us XY coordinator of the canvas upper left corner, and then another coordinate, XY coordinate of lower right end, that type of things. Okay. And once you draw that coordinator, canvas, you can draw arc, images, line, oval, polygon, as you do have here. So create arc, create polygon, whatever, right? So this is a good example. This is older version because it has a uppercase T. But on your 3.6, you need to have import lowercase t kincher. You don't need to do this. We're not going to use that. And then tk and some others. So we'll take a look at that. What I'm doing right now here is that when you see some new language, how can you understand it so that you can use it? Don't simply copy and use it. Without knowing copy, then that is not yours. So when you see canvas here, canvas, then you have to, what is it? I need to learn. So canvas can be found in many ways. Like here, TK, then you can see from that formal website of Python. Similarly, you can do frame. Then Python frame, Tkinter frame. So tutorial points similar to that. So frame is a class, or you want to have an object of that class. So class already defined a constructor. So you simply call the constructor to create an object and hold that object. Hold that object means assign that object to some variable that you continue to use. Okay, that is your variable. This is given. But you have to use it. How can you use that frame constructor according to the explanation here? Okay, very similar to the canvas, right? So, ready to try? Okay. I want you to start Paizo. When you first start Paizo, Paizo is like this. There's nothing. And then shell, you can, last time we created, right? You can create more and more. I created 3, so 3 shells are available so that you can use it selectively. Okay, this, the upper one and the lower one, they all rely on Anaconda Python. This middle one is 2.7. The way that you can create is, if you do here, edit shell, click that. Here you can create each different tab, right? You can add more configuration, then you have the 4th ones. But I'm here, and then you have to decide which ones should be executed. Okay. So I'm going to cancel it. So I have a shell here. resource structure. These things can be relocated. You may have different 3 columns and 2 columns. The right pane, you have 2 tiers. You can modify it. You can close this if you want, and show all the definitions as you run a program. That is good for you to understand. You can hide it. If you want to see the definition of any class, you can see it. Somewhere here, I think you can also choose graphical user interface, whether you want to use Tkinter or something else. Somewhere. We'll do that later. Okay, once you have this, then you need to create a file, right? So on file menu, by the way, you can create these things on using Python also. This is written in C, but you can do this your Python. Maybe 6th week of this semester, I may ask you to make this your own graphical user interface. Is that hard? No, it is not. If you have all those menus functionable, then a lot of work, right? But design itself, and a little bit of the work. For example, if you do here and new, then new ones, editor comes up, so that you edit at this time. That type of things it's not hard, okay? So what you first need to do is, from Tkinter, import star. That's what I asked you to do, right? And then we do tk and then let's try to save. Control S. Where's my mouse? Here. So I would say the file name is my one GUI. Okay, extension is py, so you don't need to type it. Save it. So you need to choose a specific directory or folder and save it. After that, if you want to execute this, execution of this Python, 2 lines of code, right? See what it does. Maybe nothing, right? Still okay. Control, holding down Control key and press Enter, then whatever you have here, the current file is executed. What happens? Executing line 122 of my one GUI.py. That is executed. But it is not run. Oh, it is. Right. I have another. How can I move this? This guy. Okay. Yours also, right? Do you have this? This is the outcome of that. What is this? This is an object. TK object. There is a class called the TK, uppercase TK. I want to create an object of TK. So what I did is this, TK. I didn't assign that object to any of my variables yet. But that is created. Object of TK is created. That's what you can see right now here. Everything is ready, right? So click, disappeared.
Professor, when you run it, run what?
Save that code as a file, in a file,
Uh-huh.
and simply holding down Control button and hit Enter button. Like this. Hit Enter. Why this guy appears in another Windows only? Here. If I want to do more on this TK objects, then I need to hold that object. I need to hold that object. Otherwise, that's it. No others. Right? I need to hold this object. To hold this object, then I can say, oh, this is my root. So I assign that object to a variable called the root. Root is my variable. So when I call root, it means nothing but the TK objects. So I can add some additional small component objects to that TK objects additionally. So what is this graphical user interface? I want to add more stuffs on it and draw. One of the things that you may want to do is watch this. Title. What is the title right now? If I do here, default title, I lost everything. Okay. This is the default title, TK. I want to change this. In order to change it, because I hold that object TK, I hold it and I call it ROOT. So, hey, ROOT, because it is TK, if we type that, then there's a lot of things that you can do, a lot of options, right? That is the beauty of this Python. So one of the things that we want to do here is a title. Click title, or you can simply type title, and then save and run it. Or is this too long? Because I didn't change it. Right? If you make it big, then it says, welcome to John Yoon's home. This is the title of mine. Okay, let me stop here. So I wanted to make sure that you have this before too late.
I teach the
Professor, that box that you're doing is not coming for us.
Yeah. I'm running
What is following? I'm the only one.
Who has that?
Was it control what?
Yeah.
Enter. Enter, right? Well, yeah.
What about you?
Your file name should be in one name. One is it's not like
So,
I run in the Python IPLE.
oh, you did the item.
Yeah, it's a test one.
Well, what is it? The JGraphs?
ISO is not like too scale about the.
I'm gonna try that, because you can do it on JGraphs, just switch it over to Python. There we go.
You have? No?
No box. No box.
No box?
No box.
We don't have a canvas, we don't have nothing. Why?
You know, that thing is 32 bit. This is a long day.
let's take a break and let me find out. I think there is a version issue. Okay, I'm going to point out on the chapter 6, is it chapter 6, 5, or 5? Or chapter 5 of my textbook, a little bit of explanations. I didn't explain main loop function itself, but you can tell here. All of these graphics components are continued to run by this, which means this main loop make your program to execute continually. Okay? So that is written in the textbook. So I want to point out this. Okay. So you need to have here main loop, save, and therefore you have this. Okay. So let's create a canvas. Here. Canvas. Create an object. In order to create an object of canvas, we need to use that constructor. Constructor has an argument. The first argument is what is the master holder of that canvas? Placeholder of that canvas is TK objects. TK is the root, right? So that is the root. That is a variable. And after that, you can say my width is, say, 700. Height is 500. And then save it. And one thing that you need to do is that this canvas should be also held by, let's do this first. Okay. Let's see what happens. Save it. Nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened, right? Nothing added yet. So we need to hold this canvas object, say can, that is my another variable, can. And then this canvas should be pack. Another function should be called. Okay. And therefore, now the size of this width and height is drawn. Do you see that? I need to more components on that canvas. But right now I didn't do anything, but we don't see that there, but that is there. There is a canvas. So what happens here is that I I have a TK objects, and on top of that, I have canvas. I have a TK objects and canvas on top of that. And on this canvas, I want to put something there. That's what I want to do. In order to show that canvas, we can say background color, BG equals, what color do you like in RGB? If you don't have, I can do it in hexacode, say FF7711. Save it, execute it.
We've got a comment after that.
Oh, thank you. This is my FF. This is R component, red component. It's a little more red components than blue components. Blue is just 1, right? If I make this a posit, for example, I want to put more blue components than red, like Mercy, and run it. Oh, okay. Nice. This is not really blue, but I have a little bit of red components and green components. Let's make it a little different. I want to make a little more. I want to make this rather than F, AF, a little lower, and here A9. Okay. How do you like this? So you can manipulate, right, the color. So by having that canvas background, now you see, oh, there is a canvas attached to the root window. Okay, now let's put something, let's draw something on the canvas. Okay? Thing that you may be able to canvas is that create underscore rectangle. Okay? And that rectangle has some coordinate, upper left corner and lower right corner. So that let's start 20, comma, 20, comma, that is 2020 is the XY coordinate of upper left corner, and lower right corner we have for 500 length and 700 and 500. That is a canvas size. So you, what is the center? Center is maybe 350 and 250, right? So let's say 350, comma 250. So lower left corner is It's that. And then I want to fill that in color, pound sign, and then which color of a rectangle better? Black rectangle? Black box. Okay, that's good. Black box. What is the RGB code for black? All colors or non-colors? Right, non. This is a light color, not the paint color. If it is a light color, to make it black, what can you do? Turn all the light color off. Then there is a black, right? You know that. If there is no light, means black. So turn all off means 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Sorry. The other one is that this create rectangle. This should be attached to the canvas, right? So we need to make can dot create rectangle. That is there. Can dot create rectangle. So when you do this, around this time, you can see some of the functions associated with the canvas. Let's read some of those. Add tags, after some of the animation, then you can do this after something else. If you have a sequence of that drawing, meaning that is on animation, right? You can make you can move some of the graphical components on your canvas and create oval. Oops. Oh, it is taken. Create oval, create polygon, create rectangle, create text, create window, and those things. All right. So save it and execute so that you can see here. Right? Question?
Can you explain the attributes that first one, second one?
Oh, these are coordinates. The first two numbers, XY coordinate of upper left corner here. And then third and fourth, there's another XY coordinates, the lower right corner. I want to create a circle that draws, the center of the circle is the same as lower right corner of that rectangle. Let's do that. So I want you to create white circle. Radius is up to you, right? But do not draw oversized. So nicely fit it. It's any size that you want. Can you do? close this first. So can dot, then you can see create oval. And right now, what should we do? If it is oval, then so we do not know what arguments available for that create oval, right? For that reason, we need to take a look at here. Bring the browser, and then you can say Python canvas create oval, so that you may have some tip. Canvas of oval objects. And empty. This is no good. Maybe tutorial points. Oval here. Create a circle. So x0, y is oval. Okay. It takes two pairs of coordinates, top left and bottom right. Oh, oval is not really taking center and radius. It takes the minimum bounding rectangle for the circle, so that assume that there is a circle, there is a rectangle, a square holding maximally the circle, so that you know upper left corner and lower right corner of the coordinates, right? That's what this statement says. So what you can do here is, let's assume this is the center. So I want to put maybe 50 upper and 50 lower. So what we need to do is 350, so 300 and 200, that is upper left corner. So 300, 200, so upper left corner of the coordinates, and lower right we need to add 50 each, so 400 and 300. And we need to fill that in white. White means they like white. White light means turn on all color. That is white. White light. So FF. Save it and run. Nice. Don't follow my size. I want you to have your own size. I mean, for your exercise. Can you do more creative color than mine? Mine is black and white. I want to put some text here on that black box. And I want you to do that on the circle as well. So, can text, and you can say specify the coordinates first. So 20, 350, so 330, 165, so 165, comma, so 230, 115, 15, black box, and fill equals FF, no, 55 AA F. I don't know what that is. There's a color. See. Oops. Can't. Oh, sorry. Should be create text, not just text, but create text. It should be create text. Where is that? Unknown option, black box. Oh, black box is not. Okay. So what you need to do is to here text equal black box. Text equal black box. So we have a black box here. But this black box is a little bit offset. So I want to make this center. Is it really center? No, it's not center. So this is the one, so two. Oh, okay. I know why. So we need to add 135, and this should be 85. Not only that, we need to do justify equals center. How about that? Recognized? Oh, center is not recognized. Justify, center is not recognized. Must be all lowercase. Okay, that is recognized. Okay, so this is on center right now. Even if I write long words, my iPhone in the black box. Just like this, right? Can you make something on this circle? Can you write something on this circle? I wanted to write something on this circle. User interface to your software program. User interface. How many user interfaces are available? You know, graphical user interface. That is one thing, right? That's what we are trying to do. Another one is dialogue based, right? You can simply ask user, so user can enter some, and user entered value can be used into your processing. So how can you do that? So here also, simply you can say somewhere here, maybe some over there. I want to do somewhere before you do text here. Can say, I want to ask user enter your name. And when user enter name, then we can receive that name, right? So this is name. Okay? By receiving that name, rather than hard-coded value for the text, I can simply say name. Okay, what user entered will be drawn. For example, then when you do this, then this guy says enter your name, so that my name is Mr. Yun. Then this guy says, my name is Mr. Yun. And then I want you to do greeting equals input say something, and then put that into your circle. Okay? Do this, and it says your name. So I can say John at Mercy College. Enter, say something. Hello, how are you? John at Mercy College, but this greeting, there's no place to put. I didn't do anything. That is something that I want you to do. So greeting placed the center of this circle. Okay? Nice? Fred, what is this? Ugly? Why? So make it nice. So it should be very similar to this. I can copy and paste. Center is 350 and 250, right? 350 and 250. We change it. And greeting, text is greeting. Greeting. And center and fill. I want to make it, which color is better? A little bit red. So FF. $9900. Enter your name. Fred in Nigeria. Nigeria, N-I-G-I, Nigeria. Particularly with what city? City name.
Edo State.
Spell it.
EDO.
E-D-O.
Yeah.
Oh, Edo City?
Yeah.
Edo is
Close, no, it's Edo.
how do you greet in the morning in Nigeria? Do you speak English?
Yeah.
Say hi. Here. Fred in Edo, Nigeria. Hi. So you can add more and more onto this canvas. That is the first step that you need to do. Next step is that those components need to move, right? A little bit of animation. You can do that. but later, not today, of course, not today. That's a canvas work. As I said earlier, in addition to canvas, we have frame. Frame, you can put there some menu, drill down, or whatever. So menus can be there, and you can put some button to click. You can enter some text box for a user to enter. You can make some labels to display. That type of things can be attached to a frame. So basically yours is a canvas work and frame work. They can also together. You can put canvas over frame or vice versa. Even though ladies like Michelle love drawing and all those coloring. Are you the person like that? So I'm going to, so next time, first thing is to give you a demo on this screen. So we need to see how Michelle maximized the creativeness on canvas, if you do not mind. Not only that, we need to make our graphical user interface more intelligent. It should do something, right? Some logical processing needs to be done. That is whole point. That is more than 50% of Python can do. So we need to learn some of the language in logic. Logical processing needs to be done in Python. Raise your hand if you need more time before we switch to. Okay, take time. If you have a question, raise your hand so that I can help you. Don't ask me. Don't ask me to type on behalf of you.
Oh, no. I typed everything up on the screen.
The best thing that you can improve your coding is to understand the error messages. So read the error messages and tell me what is wrong. Oh, unknown color name. Okay. What is your color? Okay. Compare this and with that. What is this? Oh, okay. Question. Okay, read that red message and tell me in your
DLL while scanning string litter. DLL while scanning string litter. DLL while scanning string.
end of line was
And it's pointing to
line 6. We'll close the double quote. Okay.
I got it.
So you think I'm okay with these glasses, right?
Every time I put them, it does things.
Let me tell you where you can buy these glasses. So that you'll
go and
be
read. I got the ones in Dwayne Reed. They kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, I downloaded that.
They kill him. I put them on. I don't know.
I wrote it over and I need to download
Anaconda?
I haven't had it downloaded and I haven't downloaded that. Because I had 3.6 with
For this work, we don't do any separate Python 3.6 or Python 2.7. We may do so for the subject. But right now, stick to Python. So as far as you have Python and Anaconda installed,
so I have both of them, so it's still
close that and then read. Nice.
You have triangle. Please.
You have to do another line. And the line is the next single of it. And since that's error on my yeah. Triangles are there for really because you have to add alley up, you have to add the line. So you do. Because in Java it's triangle, it's triangle here. No, it's just those something. You have X, Y, yeah.
Right, just by you put sorry.
Yeah.
Which one?
See here, all small and there's a uppercase N.
Oh,
Case sense.
got it. Okay, no, your thumbs
Is there a problem?
Did you solve anaconda? Okay. What's this?
Bring that. Where did you say it? Huh? Probably you say it. Take the four, put it there. You might not have enough.
Okay. So let's create another. Let's close this.
Wait a minute.
First,
Let me close the canvas. Our art class is over. Now let's go back to the programming class.
main room has seen section.
Is Pfizer the current version or old version?
Current.
It says,
Therefore, overlap to xy coordinate and low right, x coordinate, but no right coordinate, y coordinate. In this one.
I'll go ahead.
So our students wants me to type. I typed more than enough. Okay. So create another editor. Here Pfizer. Control N, then you have another editor. So I have two tabs, right? In the editor, I have this, my one GUI. This is another. So here we want to do something. Some programming, okay? So what do you want to do? We already did. Name equals, hey, give me your name. How about this? What I did here is I'm asking two times. Two things. Hey, give me your name. And then, how old are you? And I repeat about him or her. So I'm going to save this. Control S. I'm going to save this, not here, but 505 and in class F17 my first dialog. So program name is my first dialog, my one dialog.py. Okay, that is saved. Therefore we simply press Control Enter. Then the way it is executing by asking two questions. Hello, give me your name. Chris. How old are you? How old are you, Chris? We have two Chris's. 19? What? 24? 24. Then he says, Chris is 24 years old. Print function, if you look at this print function, then how many commas? So there are how many arguments? We have 1, 2, 3 commas, right? And then how many arguments? Name, and this within double quote, that is a string. And another variable, age. So name and ages here already defined. So if you say ages, then we will have an error. If we do this and enter, then we say give me your name, whatever, and give me your, how old are you? It doesn't say number. So it says that there is an error. What is an error? Name error. Name ages is not defined. What happens here is that I defined an NAME, AGE, but when I use in my print statements name, that recognized because it is defined, comma, watch this, this is very, very important. Okay, watch everybody. In the print statements, name here, that is recognized, comma. Next argument is. Is it recognized? Ah, yes. It is within double quote, so it is written as is. It is not evaluated because it is a double quote. Because it is a double quote, can single quote work? Of course. Doesn't matter, right? Quote or double quote. As far as you don't mix open double quote and close single quote, then there is an error. But single quote, double quote, fine. As far as they are pairwise matched. So is means this is not evaluated, comma. Next one is ages. Ages. When I see ages, age or plural, singular. Oh, this editor is dummy. Why not understand the singular and plural? Of course, this is dummy. Don't care. They don't care, right? So it should be, if you say AGE, then it should be AGE. Okay? What else? Next one is within double quote. Double quote. So it is not evaluated. No complaint. What it does is that simply echo. Okay? As is. That's what it. Okay. And then save and run. Say whatever you do, enter. Whatever you do. What does it say? R is the 1st years old. What? So a lot of things that we have to make sure here, right? first thing is that years. It should be a number, right? But we didn't check it. So value sanitization is needed. Sanitization. That's something that we will do, right? So we need to do until number is entered. Is another thing that. And if number is entered, then many times you can say, oh, he's old, he's young, something like that, right? How can you do that? Some of the comparison needed. Okay, conditional statements needs to be stated. There's some other value to be added to this simple scenario. What else can you do? Joe, make this more intelligent. Mm-hmm. Like by having the years of the age, you can say, you can convert into some other languages, right? Young, old, whatever. What else?
If you're like 25, you're still like a young old.
Yeah.
Like that.
Or if somebody is like around 20 years old or below, then you can say, did you go to school?
Yeah, that's another question.
Mm-hmm. What else? You can ask, what is your salary range? Okay, and then you can say something. Then you can say, oh, do you need money? If you say zero. some of the reasoning stuff needs to be added, right? What else? Chris, 24 years old Chris. How can you make this program a little more intelligent? Say anything. Oh, Michelle.
Can you say, like year you born, so they can, because most people, some people lie about their age, and they say, yeah, I'm 21, just getting a club, but then people ask, what year were you born, and it should be automatic, because...
Oh, okay. Then it's some computation. That is good. Yeah. What year were you born? And then you have to calculate it, right? And say something. See something, say something.
Try to loop it.
Okay. So in what way? Or if
For loop.
right, for loop, for example, sanitization, right? For ages, if somebody says DF, not number but character, then you can say, hey, enter in number. Somebody says 2,500. Yeah, something like, how old are you? 2,500. Ridiculous, right? If you is a human, then not more than 115. What is the oldest living human right now? Maybe 115, 120. I think 120 is that.
Person.
Yeah, oldest.
123. No.
Oh, 123.
No, that's the only person who ever lived.
Or whoever lived. Okay, 123. Then 125 is maybe. You will break the record.
But you don't, never mind.
Okay. If someone says, how old are you? Minus 20. That is not acceptable either, right? So some of the sanitization is needed. What about name? What is your name? Coffee. That's okay, right? Coffee is, I saw many people, last name is Coffee. Fine. But if somebody's name not acceptable as a human, what?
Nowadays, they have like things that are named Apple.
Apple.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. banana,
Apple, banana, yeah.
raspberry, blackberry. It's all computer jargon, right? Fred, do you have any name that you assigned to your future child? What is it?
Freedom.
Freedom. Okay. Anyone has any name that make all of us happy and smile? Like apple, coffee. This is very funny. Nowadays, the young guys, if we say, what is apple? Then their response is 50% fruit apple, 50% computer apple. So our age is apple, then only one, right?
Apple the computer or Apple the food?
Right. So all such things needs to be done. Okay, then we will. And then you can say numbers. Num list equals input, enter a list of numbers in open square bracket, close square bracket. No, we don't need to say here. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that later. And then give me your name, hold, 12, and number list. You can say 12, 13, 1, 2, 7, 31, 11. The numbers that you enter sounds like lotto, right? How many numbers do you do? Anybody plays lotto? 5 numbers for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, whatever the number, right? So with the numbers, what can you do more? You can make average, you can make sum, a lot of things possible, right? I'm just challenging you. We will do this, we'll continue to do this next week. Okay? With the number, you can do a lot.
The value of your name.
Yeah,
The
that's
value of your name.
right.
Right?
So with that number, you can say, "Oh, you are the winner," because that's average or whatever the lotto number that matches with the previous winning number. Okay. thing is this. If you have a list of those numbers, you don't need to do actually anything about this. No limitation, no limits. Simply say enter your and then enter your list numbers, any number. Okay? See, they are not the same, right? In this case, I guided the user to enter within bracket and delimiter comma. But in this case, I didn't do anything. Just enter numbers. So this guy enters in this way. So receive it that way. So how either this or this, you need to identify the numbers. So take the numbers, do some computation. How can you do? Malcolm, can you do it? The questions that we have been raising.
We can do them more.
Yeah, we will do more. So I'm now giving you some motivation so that we have this and that. How much that we could do in programming so that this dialogue-based user interface will be a little more valuable, if not intelligent, right? And these things, we do dialogue-based, right? So this Windows ask you in dialogue-based. We could do this on graphical user interface and put some buttons there. Okay. So as button entered, then it takes some action. All right. Any comments? Any question?
For the age, the kids how old you are, how do we just make it numbers again?
That's what we will do. So we will change it. For example, from top of my mind, or here, you can say in this. There's no digits. These digits. Oh. Some of the functions, right? We need to look at. Let's see. Yeah, there is a function why it is not recognized. Is the digits, that is the function. For example, A equals 23 is digits A. Oh, is digit not defined? Maybe that is old version. String. Oh, that is a string method. Okay. What happens then? Here we should say A dot is digit A dot is digits. Int. Oh, because that is int. Okay. Here is a A equals ABC, or A equals 23. Then we can say A is a digit. See here? Then you can say true, that is digits. It understands, right? So B equals B dot is digits, and there's a false. Because this guy okay, this input by default it takes as a string. So when you say here age, if we want to calculate this age, for example, I want to put here 10 times of age. Okay? I want to display that way. So save this, and you can say, John, how old are you? 11, and then number list, whatever. And it says, this is just, what it does is, this is not really 10 times. String, what did I do? 11. 11 repeated 10 times. You see what I'm saying? If I do here, John, how old are you? ABC. What's the number? Then 10 times of ABC. That works. So this is not really a number. Even if it does not know number, well, actually this guy doesn't care. It is a really number because it is a string. So string ABC repeated 10 times. 10 times of a string. That works in Python. This is not computation. This is a repetition of a display 10 times. But if you do age, only that asterisk. If you do, for example, add 100, then that may be the problem. Enter your name, John. How old are you? 23. Whatever the number. There's an error, right? Because 23 and 10 are not, those two numbers are not in the same type. Number 10, that is the number. But 23 entered by user, that is automatically string. There's a character. So in order to make it number, then you need to change this. Input, and then another function. The user input needs to be changed to integer. So I need to put here int. Then we execute here, say John, how old are you? 23, or whatever the list, okay? Then it says, yeah, I add 100, right? So 23 plus 100, therefore it is 123. So 23 here is not the same as 23 here. This 23 is character 23. This 23 is integer. How? Because I convert that to int. Either you could do this, if we don't change it over there, but if you can do here, int. It's a lot of things. Int, save, right? I take it ag as a string, but before, as I print it, I convert it to integer and then calculate. That also works, right? So many possibilities available. Okay, I think this is it for today. We'll meet again next week. Have a good weekend.